A few thoughts now on what is one of the most contentious primary campaigns in history. The 2016 presidential race isn't for the faint of heart, especially for the candidates. When is the last time that you recall a Republican frontrunner was under constant barrage from not only his opponents, but also the GOP establishment and more than a handful of fellow billionaire businessmen who are obviously threatened by the status quo and seemingly relishing every minute of it? To be comprehensive, let's all agree that Donald Trump has chosen to not only react to attacks against him, but to attack with greater power, greater energy and force, rather than turn his cheek. Turning his other cheek is no part of his battle plan or his campaign strategy. And of late, Trump hasn't just reacted. He's wading in ever more frequently to deliver the first blows in the fracas. And if the poll numbers are the measure, Trump's enthusiastic, rhetorical carpet bombing of his rivals has worked for almost 5 months that he's been the front runner, week in and week out. And of late, Trump hasn't just reacted. He's wading in ever more frequently to deliver the first blows. And along the way, all the candidates at some point ignored the 11th commandment issued by Ronald Reagan. It was he who said, "Thou shalt not speak ill of any fellow Republican." I can only imagine how he is spinning at what he is witnessing. The Republican Party is in the grip of a full head-on collision of smear campaigns by the candidates, nearly all of them. And much of it is led by the normally quiet, behind-the-scenes movers and shakers who keep their names and faces out of the rough stuff, usually just writing checks. Establishment donors eager to destroy Trump, Karl Rove opening up his Rolodex of top fundraisers to, well, Dr. Ben Carson's campaign. Probably to bleed Trump a little, wouldn't you think? And an ad from Mr. Nice, Governor John Kasich, comparing Trump to Hitler, a comparison the candidate has since backed away from during an interview just yesterday, but much too late to ever claim his Mr. Nice handle ever again. The liberal Atlantic magazine today conceded Trump has exposed many of his Republican challengers as, quote, political cowards afraid to challenge him at the risk of angering him and those who support him, which is the magazine's way, I think, of urging them on to attack Trump. They don't appear to require much urging at this point. What we are watching is often vicious and dirty and likely to get much worse. But there's no loud call for better behavior, and certainly not for more politically correct language, at least from Republicans with whom I've spoken. Nope. Most Republicans I talk with and hear from have noticed that there is a bright truth as well in the Republican arena for the first time in memory. Most of these candidates are talking this time freely about real issues, whether it's entitlement reform, whether it is trade, job creation, radical Islamist terrorism, border security, illegal immigration, creating prosperity for all Americans, and America's role in the world, geopolitically and economically. Do you remember the presidential election we had just 4 years ago? The candidates seemed afraid to address the issues, didn't they? They were careful to a fault in what they said. Political correctness was, well, everywhere. And they were, it seemed, without energy or passion. As President Obama would put it, they seemed afraid of a few sharp elbows. Well, not this time. And I think we should all be grateful for what we've got in this sometimes rambunctious group of candidates. I think we have a president in there somewhere. For the sake of the country, I sure hope so. Our quotation of the evening. This one from de Tocqueville, who said, "Democracy and socialism have nothing in common but one word, equality. But notice the difference. While democracy seeks equality in liberty, socialism seeks equality in restraint and servitude." Quite a difference. We're coming right back.